Hey everybody, welcome back to Prescription Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm continuing my tasting of 100 proof non-bottle and bond bourbons. This is round 2. Alright, so I've already done round 1 of this tasting where I'm trying to find the best 100 proof non-bottle and bond bourbons out there. Today we've got 4 more in this round. I'm going to sample these, taste these, rank these, and the top 2 from this round are going to go guess the top 2 from my first round, and I will do a final tasting comparing those 4 from the top of each round. What I've got here today, I've got Knob Creek, 9-year, obviously 100 proof bourbon from Jim Beam. I've got Cooper's Craft Barrel Reserve, a 100 proof bourbon from Brown-Forman here in Louisville, Kentucky. I've got John Bowman Single Barrel, 100 proof bourbon out of Virginia. This bourbon is supposedly distilled originally at Buffalo Trace, and then it shipped to Virginia, and they distill it again in a copper pot still. And this is their single barrel release at 100 proof. And my final one here is Rebel 100 from Lux Row in Bardstown, Kentucky. So this is a wheated mash bill. So I think this is the only wheated mash bill out of all the ones that I've been tasting. This is the second single barrel I've had. There was also a Four Roses single barrel in the first round. So I've had a couple of Jim Beam products. I've had a couple of Brown-Forman products. This Lux Row is the only one of these products I have. This is possibly distilled by Heaven Hill. I know Lux Row's distilling their own stuff now and it's aging, but they were sourcing stuff from Heaven Hill for years, and I'm not quite sure where the age is on their own distillate. Lux Row also has a David Nicholson 1843 wheated bourbon that comes in at 100 proof. So I don't know how much different that could be from Rebel 100. And they also have a David Nicholson Reserve, which comes in at 100 proof, also that is not a wheated bourbon, so it's made with rye. So David Nicholson has both a wheated and a rye bourbon. I had a David Nicholson Reserve this past year, and I looked around for it, and I'd finished the bottle, so I didn't have that to put in this tasting. All these ones I'm doing are ones I had on hand, so I didn't go out and buy anything else. I couldn't think of a whole lot of other 100 proof bourbons to put in here that are not bottled bonds. I obviously had done a whole bottle and bond challenge bracket last year. But for instance, Sazerac, who owns the Bowman Distillery in Virginia, and like I said, they own Buffalo Trace, and they originally distilled this. There is a Rock Hill Farms, which is a single barrel from Buffalo Trace, and it is 100 proof. I do have some of that, but it's very, very allocated, very hard to find. So I figured, everything I've been tasting is pretty readily available. So leaving that one off because it's just either crazy hard to find or crazy expensive if you can't find it. So, and this is probably similar to it, right? So, and this is probably similar to the David Nicholson wheated. So. The other one I can think of that I don't have on the list is I've got some Remus Reserve. You can see on my shelf back here. But, that's MGP 100 proof bourbon also. I did have another MGP in round 1. It was a Smoke Wagon small batch, so I had some MGP in there. I've got some other 100 proof MGPs available. One that comes to mind is James Pepper bourbon. Out of Lexington, Kentucky, which is, actually distilled MGP in Indiana. That one, I do have it available, but, I'm just going to leave it out. It's a very young bourbon, I think only 2 or 3 year aged, and, like I say, I already had the smoke wagon in here, so I think this is a pretty good sample set that we're going with. So, all right, I've had these poured and mixed up already on the table here. I'm going to mix them up a little bit more, but all right, yeah, we'll just go with that. So I'm going to go through and give these a nose, give them a taste, and do some rankings on these. So we'll call this A on your left and go A, B, C, D across the board. So initial nose on glass A. All right, picking up some caramel, a little bit of corn sweetness on that. So glass B on the nose. More of a sugary corn, so like a candy corn nose on this one. Yeah, I'd say there's some caramel in there too, so definitely a sweet nose on B. So glass C on the nose. A little bit sharper nose on this one. It's got some sweet in there also. But it also has what I might describe as a graininess that I would sometimes get from like an Irish whiskey. So possibly pot distilled on that one, but we'll see. It might just be just graininess on there. So, and glass D. All right, a little bit more oak, but some sweet, some vanilla on that also. So very nice. So yeah, surprisingly, most of these are coming off, pretty sweet. So funny how these things run together sometimes. But all right, we'll go in and we'll start the tasting. Yeah, glass A. Wow, that's hitting all the right notes for a bourbon. It's got the sweet on the front of the tongue. It's got the spice immediately all over the tongue. It's got a little warmth going down. Definitely has some oakiness in there, and some brown sugar sweetness. So pretty tasty on glass A. Taste glass B. Cheers. All right, glass B is spicier than A was. It's oakier than A was. As sweet as the nose is, it's not really sweet on the taste. I think it's definitely spicier. So, and it is a hot cinnamon spice. Now there's some sweet there. It hits right there on just at the very beginning when it hits your tongue. It goes away quick though, and that oak takes over. So, all right, glass C. Cheers. This may just be these building in my mouth, but this is now the spiciest of the three so far. It's definitely a lingering spice, so less oak on the taste. Definitely has some corn sweetness up front, and then that spice on the tongue, and it lingers. So yeah, very nice. And when I go back through and taste these again, I'll do them in reverse order. So definitely tasting C after D, it will present itself differently than tasting C after B, after A, and all that stuff. And I'll do some AV tasting ultimately. So, but first taste on glass D. Cheers. Yeah, that spice. I think that spice is built up in my mouth here. So, definitely getting lingering spice on the finish. I'll have to get myself a palate rinse for the next pass. Yeah, this one has some caramel sweetness. A little bit of oak, not as, more oak than maybe some of the other ones, but not as oaky as others. So the oak is very light, but it's good taste. Yeah, so none of these jumped out as an outlier here, as way better than the others, or or way behind the others. So it's going to be very interesting to go through and try to nail this down. But yeah, I don't know what my preference is going to be today either. You know, I guess I will find out. Am I in a sweet mood or am I in a spicy mood? And unfortunately, you know, on any given day, you might rank these things differently. So, but I'm going to let these sit for at least 5-10 minutes. I'm going to come back. I'm going to cleanse my palate. I'm going to come back. I'm going to taste them again. I'm going to rank them and give you my results. So, hang tight. All right, I'm back after a short break. Going to go back through and taste these again and give you my final rankings for today on these great bourbons. Before I do that, I want to let everybody know you can find me on Instagram at instagram.com/prescriptionbourbon, and you can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/prescriptionbourbon. Both of those platforms, you can get some other content from me. You can join the chat, get in some other discussions and stuff. Very much like you can here on YouTube. So if you're new here to YouTube, new to my channel here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hope you like what you're seeing here, and think about hitting that like button also. All right, get these guys uncovered. Go back through and do them again. I'm going to taste them in reverse order, starting with D this time. All right, that was very sweet, with just a little bit of oak, a little bit of spice. Definitely not the spice I had at the end of the first round. So, like I said, I think that spice had been building. A little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of oak. Very nice, and there is a little spice at the end. So it's there, but a very, very enjoyable sip. Glass C. All right, Glass C is definitely way more drying than Glass D was, and it is way spicier too. That spice is really spicy on the tongue. It's like a hot, super hot cinnamon spice. It's pleasant, but for today, I don't think that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to pull that one back behind D at the moment. In fact, the spice level on this is hitting so high. That might be what you're looking for in some cocktails, some mixed drinks. Let me grab my water here. All right, going to give B another taste. B sweet, almost no spice initially. The longer I sit here and wait and try to pull some flavors, the spice does eventually come. But just seems a little lackluster, a little slow going there. Nothing bad there at all. Very, very nice, gentle taste and all, but definitely not as good as D was. I'm not sure where I rank it against C at the moment, but let me jump in on A. A is very much like C. Very drying, very spicy. Very interesting. Yeah. Let me cleanse my palate again. Let me taste A and C against each other. See which one of those I like. See where B hits against those, and then D. But right now for sure, D's the front runner. So noses are different on A and C. On A, I definitely get the oak on the nose. It has more of that rick house aroma. C is much lighter, almost like a pot still graininess on there. But it might just be a light sweetness on that. So that's just, I keep thinking that, but it might be totally off. So let me taste these. I think C is way more drying. They both have a lot of spice, and doesn't matter which one I taste first, the spice hits harder on the second one, so it obviously builds on itself. But I'm going to rank A above C. And above B. Yeah, this is a pretty close matchup here. These aren't super far apart from each other. It's very, very much minor differences here. But I'm down to A and D, which are both, I think, going to move on to the next round. So it doesn't really matter which one I pick here. I definitely like the nose on D. D is so well-rounded. A's a lot spicier. I'm going to go with D as my winner today, followed by A. So like I say, that will be moving on. B comes in last here, and we'll see what we have. But like I say, any given day, I might have ranked these differently, and when I do my final round here, where these two move on against the two from my first round, these may come in completely in reverse order, and who knows how they'll fare. But today, my fourth place is the Knob Creek. So interesting. I mean, I'm a big Knob Creek fan. You can see I've got the 1.75 liter bottle here. I do prefer their single barrels, which come in at 120 proof. I think they have not just more, obviously more proof in them, more alcohol in them, but they're just spicier to me and just more, better flavor. Not as watered down, clearly. So, this Knob Creek bottle, I thought has been faring better than the last one I had. So, this one you can see is fairly near the top. So I've opened it fairly recently, and I thought it was better than the one I had before. So, but interesting, the Knob Creek comes in fourth place. Third place is Cooper's Craft. So, so these two over here are gone. And this is the one I kept saying I thought had maybe pot still grainies on the nose. It's just a super light, sweet nose. But it is super spicy on the taste, though. Super drying on the taste. I know Cooper's Craft, it is a little bit oakier. The barrels are chiseled out and on the inside to give it a little bit more contact, wood contact with the whiskey. So it is almost like a double oaked or an extra oaked type bourbon. So it not surprising that one is so drying to me. That so. But moving on, my second place finisher today is the John Bowman. I had to think what JB was, but John Bowman. So John Bowman comes in second place, and like I say, this is the pot distilled one. This is a single barrel. So this is distillate from Buffalo Trace in Kentucky that's shipped to Virginia, redistilled there in a pot still, aged in Virginia. So it is called a Virginia straight bourbon whiskey. But this guy is, very nice. It is a single barrel, so they will vary, but very nice. That means my winner today, Class D, is the Rebel. So, this once again is a Lux Row product, possibly distilled by Heaven Hill, but the same mash bill. It would be the same mash bill as your Larceny and whatnot, but this comes in at 100 proof though, and it's just a nice, tasty all-around bourbon. Last year I did in fact, I've recently done a second round of my Wheated Whiskey Wars. Last year I did my first Whiskey Wars, and I had this Rebel. It wasn't even this bottle; it was a different bottle, but I had this Rebel 100 in there, and it surprised me. And I actually came in like second place in my Wheated. So not really any surprise here that it fares pretty good here. I think if I have a surprise here, my surprise is that Knob Creek comes in last. In fact, this is the only extra long age stated. I mean, this is a 9-year age stated on this Knob Creek. So nothing else here. They're all straight bourbons. So they're all 4 years old with no additional age statement on them. And this Knob Creek, the oldest one here, comes in last. So crazy. That's why we do the blinds, right? So, but yeah, super happy here. Got Rebel and John Bowman moving forward to compete in my final round of tasting to find the best 100 proof bourbon that's not bottle and bond out of bourbons that are available and not super allocated or special edition, special releases. Very nice. All right, everybody, I hope you liked what you saw here. If you did, hit that like button. Leave some comments down below on what you think of these bottles. If you've had any of these, if you would have ranked them differently if you did this blind, let me know. Let's have that discussion in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel already. It helps immensely. Really appreciate it, and love for you to see some more videos in the future. So remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon, and the best bourbon comes from Kentucky. Cheers.
Turkey.